Songs and stories. We are here at the Kluang Railway Station, and like most old towns in Malaysia, it is the railway station that holds a lot of untold stories. So we are here to meet Uncle Lim, who grew up right here in the heart of the town and lived through the most significant eras of Malayan history. Tell us your full name, where you were born, and where you grew up.
I was born in Taiping, Perak, in 1938. It was a tough time in the 1930s. There was a period of the Great Depression. So my father went down to Tampin. A grand uncle was there. So my father went to help out in his coffee shop. So he asked my father, would you like to try your luck in Kluang? He had never heard of the place. My father thought there was nothing to lose, but he didn't have much money. He had 17 straight dollars plus some cents. So he came down. In the beginning, it's very pitiful, think of it. He could only afford to buy 3 cans of milk. And those days he insists on using good milk, and he used to buy coffee powder and tea dust, and he started the shop. He was the boss, the coffee maker. He does all the washing, sweeping, and do the serving. One-man show. And when his milk was running low to 1 can, he would literally run to the shop. He asked one of the customers he knows to look after the shop for a while. He buy another 3 cans from the money he made. He was sort of surviving on a shoestring budget. And then when the time came when he could buy 12 cans of milk, to him it was a great achievement. Then he sent for my mother, my older brother, and I to come down. I landed in Kluang in 1939. I was 9 months old. So I literally grew up in the station. When I could sort of run about all these places, World War II broke out and bombing started in KL. We were told to run away. So we went to a place about 6 miles away where the Japanese had established themselves in Kluang. They came to the village. The first group of Japanese soldiers that came in were quite decent, I must say. We couldn't understand them, but we could see that they mean business. All their rifles had the bayonet fixed, and we used to have a man up on the tree to look any Japanese military truck stop by, he would signal and all will run away. By this time also, the men had dug some tunnels. When they see something, we all run. We never would run as a whole family. It was separated. Father go to one of his tunnels, mother will go, you carry one, I carry the other.
So that's for security
Just
reasons.
in case. So one day my father decided to cycle out to town. Then he decided it was quite safe to reopen the shop.
So the Japanese were still around when you reopened your business?
There was a Japanese detachment stationed at Kluang Railway Station. This guy was one of those, I would say, very good guys. He was my protector. He used to give me presents that his family had sent him. I remember one of the first toys I had from him was, in Chinese they call it putao ong, and we cooked for this Japanese fella. He liked the food, fried rice, so much. Keep on asking for it. But where are we going to get these ingredients? Every morning at about 10, 11, not very punctual those days, a goods train would come down, bringing along with it fish, crabs, some prawns, and he told us, go and take. I took one big fish like this, tenggiri. Take some more. I was scared, you're stealing. One pail of goodies and you fried 2 plates of fried rice.
So did you eat the rest of it? Your family got to eat?
And to hear him say arigato, I still remember one of the first words I learned.
So even during the Japanese occupation, there was still trade going on? Like
Yes.
Is it not everything?
As long as the train was there, excuse was the officer. Nobody would dare to stop us. The Japanese officer in charge of the railways, he was a king. The Japanese soldiers see us with all this food. They ask us, can they have one ikan kembung? Because you know what the Japanese soldiers eat? They have some vegetables, which I now look at it looks like kimchi. Then the asam, They will steam it and it becomes very large. And a few miserable looking fish. That was their ration. So you understand now why getting a fish from us was a big deal.
That means even the Japanese soldiers, some of them were good, some of them were bad.
I suppose in everywhere there are good, there's also the bad. But the Japanese have a bigger share of the bad. You know, the war ended and then the British came back to Malaya. And an emergency was declared in 1948. Mainly farmers and rubber tappers were on the fringes of this thing. The communists are making use of these people for information, for food, for medicine, and for money. So they forcibly removed them and put them into a camp. So those who live in the new villages had a tough life. It was all fenced up, not fenced up, double fenced up. And the morning gate will open for them to go out to tap the rubber, and then they'll search you. If they search and find you, you have a $5. Why do you need $5 to go and tap rubber? You must be up to something. So these people are caught between the devil in the deep blue sea. On the other side, when you go in there, you will meet your jungle friends. And the poor people in the village, I know some of them, had to learn to smuggle rice and give to the communists. And finally, in 1960, of course, you know, the emergency was declared over.
How the coffee shop continued to be so strong after the emergency?
One thing my father didn't shortchange his customers. He uses good coffee. He makes himself very fussy old man, but to bit a few drops more. You know, for a cup of coffee, 15 cents. The floor telecom the other side down the road there, you order one cup, 15 cents, you go off his hand. And then the woman will always remind you, after this, go and collect the cups. And then the worst was the go down, the go down was on the other side of the railway station. So to go to that end, you got to cross over 3 or 4 trains. The trains were there, the wagons, there's a coupling. I had to crawl, I put the coffee on the sleeper, I crawl through, then collect the cup. Or I leave it on the near the coupling there, this is flat metal, two pieces. Leave it there, jump over, carry. By the time I reach the other end, the other side, half the coffee whatnot is already in the saucer. Pour back. All for 15 cents. Of course, 15 cents has a different value then.
And that's how the business continued to grow.
Yeah, we'll continue. The coffee, they enjoy, they come. Some of them are so regular, they come 3 times a day.
So right, Uncle, National Day coming, do you have any advice to the Malaysians?
I used to tell them, I've lost this feeling of Merdeka. And if any one of them tell me, you're all not patriotic, put flag. Patriotism doesn't come from displaying of flags. I'm very proud to be a Malayan. And later, I'm very proud to be a Malaysian. So I say, yes, I'm very patriotic. I'm more patriotic than most people.
So how would you describe that patriotism or loyalty? What does it mean to you?
It means a lot to me when I watch old friends of Tunku shouting Merdeka. Sometimes I too shouted. A feeling of achievement. In a sense, we were sad the British were leaving because we had got used to the system. And by and large, they were quite fair. Take, for example, our coffee shop. When they wanted to increase the rent of the place, the chief, who is based in Singapore, will come. We're going to increase your rent by $10 or $20. But the value is different there. Is that all right with you? They ask you. Today they ram it down your throat.
Do you have any wish for Malaysians out there?
I would like to say this to the younger generation. Appreciate what your parents and grandparents have worked so hard for this country. Not necessarily if you're a soldier or a policeman. He worked in the estate. He has contributed to the economy of this country. The miners, did they contribute? Yes. And those Indian laborers, Tamils, they built our roads. Be appreciative. Don't take for granted. We work for it. It's been handed to you on a platter. Appreciate what you have and try to build on it. contribute in whatever way you can. Happy Merdeka.
Good one. Cut.